Hey guys, Sora here, back with another Road to Grandmaster video, and this time we are featuring the one and only Wallet Haven. Known formerly as Summit Haven, it is known by that name due to its insane amount of legendaries in the deck. It is costing like 60,000 plus vials or something like that to create, and it's also one of the two top tier decks in the current meta, as well as one of the most hated decks in existence right now. And it's not hard to see why. It's very, very consistent. Now, Heavenly Knight and Summit Temple, of course, add to that consistency. They're the main finishers of the deck. But I think in Dawnbreak Night Edge, what really brought this deck out from maybe B tier status to where it is now is this card. Moray Encomium is a bronze, very unassuming bronze that people were looking down on as a worst tribunal. It's not. This countdown 2 and the fact that it only costs 2 is insane. That means that on their Evo turn, you shut down anything. You pretty much guarantee the trade to anything that they put down on their Evo turn. So that's huge, which leads to a lot of tempo for Haven right now. And combine that with Gemstone Carapace, the flexibility offered by Jeweled Princess, stuff like that, and you have the makings of a really powerful deck. Adding more to that, Hind adds a lot of consistency or a lot of explosiveness, one of the two. Light Hind heals itself, Dark Hind pops every amulet on the board, every countdown amulet at least. So, in a sense, this deck just has a near unbeatable game plan, really, if it gets its cards right. It has either an even or favorable matchup, I think, personally, against any deck in the meta right now. Although I am not running the standard version of the deck. I do make some changes based on what I see on the meta, and because I want a little bit of flavor into these videos, it's not just net decking, you know? There's another series for that. But for this particular deck, I'm testing out Gravekeeper Sonia. Now, this does conflict with the 8 of the White Wing because now you're not guaranteed the Hind, but in return, you do have a tech card for aggro. A turn 5 ward against aggro may just be enough to win you the game rather than just lose outright. The other change that I'm making here is a lot of people are running Pegasus, Delahan in the 4 slot. I don't believe in that card. Personally, I don't think you get any sort of benefit from the heal that early, unless you drop Summit Temple early. So instead, I run the Tried and True Priest the Cudgel just because he's good anywhere. Like, up until turn 6, he's going to be a very, very solid play. But yeah, that's the deck, and let's get started. Alright. Next up, we're up against Portal. I'm going first. Let's see. We don't need Sonya in this matchup. At least I don't think so. Heavenly Knight, we don't need. We need some early game, and John isn't it either. It's a hard mulligan, and there is a potential for bricking. Thinking whether I want to keep the Jean or not. No. Okay. We can work with this. We can work with this. The deck is low curve enough. There's around 20 cards of the deck are going to be either 1 or 2 drops. So, roughly around that number. The chances of bricking are relatively low. Okay. Although it's not the best hand either, because Jean early is just a 2-3. Really, and we definitely did not want to draw the Aegis. But, at the very least, we have Carapace. The Jean play is still relevant. We will save this for his 3-drop, the Mechanic. So, it's likely going to be Jean next turn. Yep, it is still very much Jean next turn. He will likely use the Mechanic to draw whatever artifact it just put in, so we'll actually find that out right now. What was the artifact? Radiant and Prime. Oh, yeah, it's the same artifact, though. I was thinking of the other card. We will do white diamond because we are playing first. We want to draw. And the fact that these trade into each other is super nice. Next turn, it's going to be likely red hot to kill off the aforementioned mechanic. Yep. The fervent machine soldier. I should call that by its proper name. He's going to swing to face. He made a copy of that. Okay. Sonya's really nice here. It'll allow for some tech against the early aggression. Okay, cool. Hind, it depends on whether Hind or Sonya here. I'm not really sure. 70% of the time I would say Hind, but it depends on how much he drops here. If he drops a bunch of like 3-1s all of a sudden, then it's going to be Sonya. But it doesn't look like it because he's trading here. He wants to draw something. Probably Icarus, I would say. More than likely Icarus. Oh, that's bad for him. No 2-drop. Okay. Yeah, then it's Hind to get the amulet and the summon temple too, which is nice. There's really no alternative play here. We can like just Paradise Vanguard this, but really there's no point. Our 6 is going to be likely Gravekeeper into a Summit Temple anyway, so yeah. Well, actually, let me think about this. Because when the... Yeah. Okay, no. No, Gravekeeper's the smarter play here, and I'll explain why in a sec.
Let them rest in peace.
Let me complete this play and I'll tell you guys why Gravekeeper was the right play there. Okay, so here's why. This will become 1 next turn and Summit Temple can drop. What that happens is it triggers the conditional effect for the choose, which we then pick the whatchamacallit, the light version, which heals itself, and that's going to be relatively hard for Portal to deal against. Simply because it's a lot of toughness. It's like a 5/7 evolve. The additional bonus we get from there is that this will ping off this, so we don't even have to trade anything in. Let's see. Summit Temple. Oh no, we actually do want to trade it in, huh? I guess. Never mind. We do want to trade it in. I mean, is it a waste? Am I going to regret that 2 damage? Yeah, because he'll likely play Deus next turn. So Dark Hind actually might make more sense here to save the Evo point. Dark Hind. Yeah, I've convinced myself there. It's Dark Hind. Because if he plays the Deus here, he has to evolve into this, and then it just trades. At the very least, it's more Evo for possible Aegis. I'm not sure why I'm playing for Aegis, but yeah. Hawk Robbie, okay. Interesting. Acceleration, okay. So from here, it's going to be like, I don't care about any of his artifacts next turn at all. When he draws next turn, it's going to have resonance, so we can actually just get away with Moriers here. Because none of his stuff has Storm. Summon Temple to draw. And probably... I want to be careful about laying too many artifacts down. We do want room just in case Ether shows up. So, question is, do I enable Resonance next turn by dropping it? Yes, I would. Because he can just drop the artifact that cycles itself, and he'll get Resonance, and then he'll play Deus. So I'm actually not going to play anything about that. That way he can't draw it. He can't draw the extra card. Yep. See, he would have just run this in, and it would have triggered a draw.
You might say I'm a genius.
See, we delayed the Deus one turn, and we get the Aether anyway. So yeah, that worked out splendidly, I think. Huh. So it's either gonna be Jean to clear the board, or Aether into Heavenly Knight. I think Aether to the Heavenly Knight is more valuable because we do put up a ward. We don't even have to evolve it. We can save the evolve for Aegis. So we will do that.
The sky is with you.
From the heavens above, justice is
We can even spend the Blackened Scripture here. That way he can't run this in. We'll just be... It's probably a play that doesn't matter, unlike the last one. But it does make it awkward for him to reach Resonance. He has to have another one of those on the board. Next turn his Acceleration drops too, so Aegis is even more a safer play.
Justice can never die.
I'm not sure. Yeah, he'll likely kill this off. Gets Resonance, but he doesn't have anything for Deus.
You might say I'm a genius.
Run that in, and we're free to Aegis.
Totally burns.
And now he's put on essentially a 2-turn clock because Jean can near guarantee clean anything up that he's about to play. He doesn't have Acceleration for the Prime Artifact anymore, not that it matters. He does have a 5/5 that we have to deal with, but a 5/5 versus a 10/10 that can't be stopped, yeah.
You might say I'm a genius.
Okay, sounds good to me. We will play this to clear the 2/2.
I shall guide you to glory.
And then play the Morier probably. Just for additional draw. Yep.
I heed you.
Yep. So yeah, no, a lot of the Portal matchups is like the further, like I kept saying, I feel like I keep saying this, but it bears to be said. Whenever you can prevent the turn 6 Deus Machina play, you do that. So, and the longer that they are not in Resonance by the time that they put down Deus, it is advantage for you. You disrupt their tempo that way. Alright, next game. We are up against... Oh, another Blood. I have to think that it's aggro. I legitimately have to think it's aggro.
To me, fool.
Because aggro is really good against Haven right now. I'm deathly afraid of it. Okay, so we will scrap this hand. This doesn't do anything for us. Okay, so Carapace, possible Jean. Hopefully I get to showcase the Sonya in one of these games. Hopefully it's this one. Okay, not quite the ward we were looking for, but it's great to have him on the hand right now. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is aggro Blood. Okay. Okay, this is the proof of the deck, guys. We will need to drop Snow White. There is no other way other than dropping Snow White here. He will likely go face anyway. This is going to be the Storm card, the Savage Wolf. Oh, smart. That guarantees 4 damage. Actually 5 damage. So that's smart. Let's see. Yeah, the Carapace will still make sense here, I think. Let me think. I'm thinking like 2 turns ahead. We drop Carapace. He will likely just swing in with everything. I'm actually gonna drop John here. I think it's safer. I think it's much safer to drop Jean here. Like, for all intents and purposes, a 3-5 and a 2-3 are the same thing in this matchup.
A pledge of certain victory.
We will save the attack just so that he doesn't get cheeky with any sort of efficient trades here. The magic number for us is 14. Once we go... Did he just... Okay. Happy Pig in an aggro deck? Okay. But yeah, the magic number for us is 14 here. Any lower than 14 and we're in trouble. Okay. So we evo that. Trade into this. And trade into it again. And then we get the both carapaces in the same turn. I think that's the only play here. Yeah, we get rid of 2 damage. Okay.
Be on your guard. I will air no more.
The winter comes. All night. Crystals of snow shimmering.
It seems like I'm being very inefficient, but
The winter comes.
trust me, I'm not. This is less damage all around. Although we still need the ward. We are in desperate need of that ward. Like, Sonya, now's the time. Please, come out. Please come out. For the love of that, all that is holy, please come out. Because if he plays Old Blood King here, I'm actually scared. He has enough. Having been on the other side of this, I know he has enough. I think we reduced the absolute max number of damage. Okay, okay, okay. Thank God it's not Old Blood King. That's good. I'll take that any day of the week. I will take that any day of the week.
Bites all I need.
So he's playing probably the Karabos version, I would imagine. Oh, he's actually trading. Yeah, I would imagine he's playing the Karabos version. Like, there's so many versions of aggro right now that it's not even funny. This is tea time, I think. I can only imagine it being tea time. Yeah, it's tea time. And then we can play the Hind Summit Temple next turn. And then that will go into Heavenly Knight. I would imagine this is Karabos. Maybe. No! What the hell is this deck? Oh man. If I put this in, it's just from the sheer value of being so interesting. Oh man, okay. That is so interesting to me. Like, it's tempting to play Hind here, right? But it'll pop. Well, it'll cause this to pop sooner. I'll actually trade this and not put him in Vengeance, probably. And then play the Hind. That way he's in lethal next turn because it's a 5-7. That's probably what I'll do. Summit Temple. Cernian Hind. The light version. We don't need this to pop. Not in our game plan currently. Evolve. Swing for 5. And this goes back down to a 7, 11. That's, yeah, much more than. Even if he gets rid of this. He'll have to get rid of this, and then Heavenly Knight just comes down next turn. Like, this is such an interesting deck. I was afraid of, like, Old Blood King the entire time. Does he play the Karabos now? Like, I wish we could see the decks that our opponent played and, like, deck lists in the match replays. I think that would be such a cool feature, personally. I know that people are protective of... Some people are protective of their lists, But man, I wish we could do that. Because it makes studying this game so much more easier. Or so much easier. If he's gonna concede after all that, I will be heavily disappointed. I just have to say. Like, he made a lot of interesting choices. He's still making a lot of interesting choices. I'll put it down to 2. Yes, he is doing the absolute max value play that he can here. This is actually tricky. We can just Jean, kill it, and deal 10 to the face. I think that's the safest play, save the storm. This should be the safest play, because if we do this at 7, 9, and... oh, wait, I can't math. Sorry. I can't math. I can't math. I'm like, oh, he lowered it down to 2, and he's now at 13. Surely he must not be in reach, but of course he is. Because that's 7 and that's 14. I'm like... This combination is just nuts, I have to say. Even as the one playing it, I still feel it's nuts. Alright, hopefully our final video, or final match for this video, we're up against the mirror, so this is a matter of drawing. Like, whoever draws better. And will likely come down to Aegis, believe it or not. This might be a match where we want to save the Heavenly Knight. Because having that on 7 might be important, and it might change the game. So we'll keep the Morier, because that is going to be value for us. We won't keep the Jean, we will keep the Heavenly Knight. Okay, good. He redrew 1 card as well, so this should make for an interesting match. I would put our decks in a very similar, or our hands in a very similar spot right now. Though he does have the 1 play, I don't. Okay. We play Snow White, it's scriptured immediately. Otherwise, we play our own Snow White, I think. Because the Morier will get rid of something on his turn 4. Alternatively, we can just play Priestess. I think it's more important to get rid of something on his 5. I think. So I'm just gonna play Priestess, select the white diamond.
The best jewelry for you is...
That makes us curve out rather well. Allows us some flexibility. Even if you play something of high value here, then we have the Morier into white diamond. Then we can scripture Snow White, stuff like that, so... Like, Snow White doesn't do a lot in this matchup. It makes for some pretty cool trades. That's about it. Okay, we waste the red hot boots for that. I consider that a victory. We will set down the Morier. Well, I get rid of something that's 5. Okay. And I get rid of whatever follower he plays down here. And if he tries to play around me, then I just play the Cudgel. Great. Yeah. Makes sense. We don't need the temple right now. A lot of people, actually, I think make what I think to be the mistake in playing temple way too early. It's because I can actually manipulate the board, or rather, people can manipulate your board to really just mess with you in that sense. Does my evil deeds end now? Let me think about this, actually. Because he has to play something on 5, right? I might just play 2 Snow Whites here. Believe it or not, I'm willing to take the 3. Oh, no. The Snow White will get banished. Never mind. What am I saying? So, we will play the... Yeah, we'll play the Snow White here.
Crystals of snow shimmer in the night.
Snow White, evolve, scripture. Seems like a very awkward play, trust me. But he doesn't gain anything off banishing this. At the very least, we gain the extra 2/2 body already. And even if he will very likely not play anything here, so we have initiative. The question is whether we can do anything with that initiative with this hand. Okay, he wastes that. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm wondering why he played that, but sure. Go ahead, Morier. He likely has Hind, but Hind doesn't make sense here. Yeah, even if Hind pops these two, this will still be at 1. This will likely draw us to Hind next turn. So we'll play the Temple now, because I can see the play from 6 to 7. So... 1... We can actually just make a sticky board with a bunch of 2/2s. That is a possibility. Especially because he's on turn 6. Now let's do that. Let's just make a sticky board of 2/2s. A very, very annoying board of 2/2s. Haven's weakness is before 7. It doesn't really have any sort of board wipe. So it works well that way. It'll try to kill one of these Snow Whites. Makes sense. Makes sense. If he wastes it on that, I have no problem him wasting it on that, to be honest. We might save the Aether in this sense, actually. We will probably... Because we want the second Heavenly Knight. And Hind doesn't attack into anything, so it's not as valuable. And this might actually draw the Aegis later, so we'll save it. Ooh, be careful, be careful. Don't want a board lock. Yeah. It's careful. Do I play the Jean now? This is gonna be a 4, so I don't think Jean will matter in this matchup, being honest. Feels like just such a waste, though. So no matter what, I would imagine that... well, you know what? No. We want the Heavenly Knight at 7, and I don't want to screw that up. Just in case he gets cheeky and just lays down a bunch of amulets to delay the 7 turn. I'm not going to do that. Okay, he delays his own Heavenly Knight, so we have our own Heavenly Knight play. And... okay. His own explosive turn, really. Okay. Likely... yep. Okay. Does he attack? Yeah, he does. Let me think about this. We can make this 1. And then just run into this, kill this. We do take 4 to the face by doing that. Alternatively, we can make everything 2. But then he has something to play. Yeah, it becomes 1, 2, 1. Then he has something to play, though. Then our next turn will be Aether of the White Wing to Blackened. I think this is actually smarter. Because if we do this, banish this. Yeah, I'd rather not leave the Bane up. As much as tempting as it is, I'd rather not leave the Bane up.
I'm not holding back.
Okay. Like, having the Bane, we do not want any sort of Bane in this matchup. his own Summit Temple and probably into his own Heavenly Knight, I would assume. That is 11 damage to the face. He can even make it 13 if he really wanted to, although I don't think it makes much of a difference. Okay.
Crystals of snow
Okay.
shimmer in the light.
That's interesting. We probably should spend it clearing, being honest. Clear. Yeah. We can't be too greedy, especially because we're the ones lowering life.
From the heavens above, justice is delivered. For great justice.
Yeah, you can't be too greedy. Because Snow White will still have to run into this for Heavenly Knight to do max amount of damage. He might just play what's it called? Okay, he doesn't play his own Aegis right now.
I shall guide you to glory.
Justice can never.
That's 2 damage. Yeah, he's pinging. Dang. It's actually getting tricky. Fortunately, we're not at turn 10 where this becomes possible. I can your evil deeds end now, but then that just leaves a wide open board for his for either Aegis or... I feel like I'm playing around a little bit too much around his cards. We do need to start swinging. Because we need the life lead at some point. He's going to run the Snow White in anyway, otherwise he doesn't have room to play. We can either... You know what, we'll do that. Because I feel like the 2 damage will actually matter. Will actually start to matter, at the very least.
From the heavens above, justice is delivered.
We'll do this.
A pledge of certain victory.
We'll do this.
Akatsuki is never held.
He's gonna run it in anyway, so we don't lose anything by doing this. We gain the initiative.
Another of God's.
Because now he has to answer this, and we have our own 7/7 Storm coming. His own 7/7 Storm will not trade into this, so he needs to trade the Snow White in.
Crystals of snow shimmer in the light.
He doesn't evo it, that's interesting.
Winter ends. The sky is with you.
Aegis.
Righteousness shall reign. Justice
Okay.
can never
3, 6.
die.
1 damage left. Where can we get that 1 damage? That's the problem. You don't have an evo anymore. And that's 3, 6. Oh no, we're actually off. So trade. More than likely is what's going to happen, right? So it might actually be smarter to trade this in right now. No, but we don't stop this anyway. I think we might have lost. Yeah, we might have lost. Yeah, I was spending too much on the board.
Heavens above, justice is delivered.
Because this is only 13.
For great justice.
I want to see if we have any other sort of plays that might be helpful. Morier. And don't even get to attack. I think he won this. I'm willing to concede. We got outplayed there. We definitely got outplayed there. I'm willing to concede to that. I won't call it like the advantage of going first, but that definitely is a factor. Yeah, we already used all 3 Heavenly Knights, so it doesn't really matter.
Was I helpful to
From
you?
the heavens
Yep.
above, justice
Yeah,
is
that's good.
delivered.
Good.
Justice can never.
Yeah,
Admit that you
that's
have
good play.
suffered.
That's just good play from him. Like, there is such a thing as playing around too much and where you just have to take a risk. That's normally my problem as a player. Being honest, is that I try to play around other players' options a little bit too much and try to always find the perfect answer, much like Karen. But that leads to my downfall because there were times where I could have just stormed in. Honestly, I didn't need to trade all the way, and yeah, I probably should have just stormed in one of those Heavenly Knights and this would have been a totally different game. I think I threw this one away. Welcome back, guys, and yeah, that's the deck. That's Waldhaven, my first version of it at least. Overall, it's a pretty good deck. I ran 5 games, which I do for every single Road to GM video you're seeing. I run 5 and choose 3 to put on the video itself. The record for my run today was about 4-1, only losing to that Haven deck, which you guys saw earlier. Changes I would make, right now I'm still messing around with Sonya. None of the 5 games made her really show up other than mulliganing her once, because she wasn't it wasn't against the deck that she was teched against. So I'm still kind of debating whether I'm going to keep that one of her, although I still like the idea. Other flex spots between these two I feel is very, very flexible. Jeweled Princess is good but not great, because outside of the card she produces, she's only a 1/2. It's the same problem that Lux has in Sword. Like, she's good for consistency, she's good for going first particularly, but situational card you do not want to draw into her late game because she's a dead card. Red Hot Boots, to a lesser extent, it's just clunky. Like, it's a really clunky card with that Countdown 3. Speaking of Countdown 3, I fully expect this card to get nerfed. It's just way too good. Countdown 2, that allows me to play it early against the Evo turn, which is the most critical turns of the game. So, yeah, this card is just overpowered right now. Other nerfs, I don't know past Moray. Like, I won't even say Heavenly Knight and Summit Temple are the cards to hit, because I feel that you don't get there if not for this. So these might get hit, this might not. It really depends on side games at this point. But right now, I think it's fair to say that this is one of the most powerful decks out there. If I were to offer any advice to those trying to play against it, be cognizant of when Temple drops. They do make a commitment when Temple drops. They cannot, their list typically do not sacrifice their own amulets. So you can play around, like messing around with their defense. That way they're just effectively 2/2s or effectively 1/1s. Delay a turn, you know what I'm saying? I actually played around that, an opponent trying to do that against me. Because some people just get too greedy and just lay this down way too early, and you can just mess with their board, gain a lot of priority, not allowing them to trade efficiently. That way they don't get to these explosive turns all that easily. That's my advice. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Sora, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.